Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Rest. In this video, I want to talk about all the recent updates and stuff that just came out for Borderlands 3. That is the designer's cut and the huge update that we had. Now, I'm not going to go into a full breakdown of all the patch notes. There are plenty of other YouTubers that has already covered it, but I just want to give my thoughts, specifically on Mayhem 11, because personally, I think Mayhem 11 is by far the best change that has ever happened to this game. After playing for a while, I can safely say that Mayhem 11 is going to be the new standard for most players. It makes the game 10 times more enjoyable, and that is simply because you don't have to deal with those annoying modifiers. Throughout the whole lifespan of the game, Mayhem has always been kind of trash, to be honest, because of just the annoying modifiers. When Mayhem 4 came out, the game was very fun. You had one modifier that helped you and one that helped the enemies. It was no just absolute pure trash negative modifier, and it made the game very fun. When the Mayhem 2.0 came out, they completely changed that, and they have a lot of just awful modifiers that just hinders so many builds and just makes you play the game in so many different ways. It's just not fun. Well, with Mayhem 11, it essentially is just taking Mayhem 10 and then turning it up to 11. It's still going to be Mayhem 10, but you have no modifiers, and the penalty is you're just going to get reduced legendaries. Now, the reduced legendaries isn't even as bad as you might think it is, and also it can be seen as a good thing because some people already hate the way legendaries rain down from the sky, so it'll make it more meaningful when you actually get one. This change alone is a complete game changer, and it is going to make the game very, very fun for a lot of people. You're going to see way more builds, new and unique, interesting builds thrive in this sandbox just because you don't have to deal with those certain modifiers. On melee builds now, which I actually just posted a video, you don't have things like buddy system completely hindering your melee build because you hit an enemy and they're immune, or you can run, cryo builds and you don't have enemies being completely immune to cryo damage, or you just don't have gimmicky modifiers like where your head is huge and you just take more damage because everybody can crit you. If you like those modifiers, I definitely understand, and you can still play with those, which is the best thing. You can either do modifiers or no modifiers. It's whichever you prefer, but personally I prefer the Mayhem 11 style. Like I said, it's going to make build crafting way more enjoyable, and just playing the game in general is just going to be way more enjoyable. But Mayhem 11 is not the only thing that came with this update. We also got brand new anointments that was free for everybody, and this one is a little controversial simply because these new anointments are just damage bonuses to your action skills, and there are like 14 of them if I remember correctly. 14 anointments being thrown into the loot pool is kind of a bad thing because anointments play such a huge role in in-game content now. It's kind of difficult to get the anointment you want on the weapon you want. So adding 14, additional chances to get something you don't want is kind of a bad thing. And the anoints on these, like I said, are just general, just action skill damage anoints, and they only increase them about 100%. The bad thing is on characters like Amara, or maybe even Zane at this point, having a 390 anoint will do more damage than this action skill anoint. So if you have a phase cast anoint where it gets 100% more damage, you might as well just use the 390 anoint because you get more damage. Or you could run URAT because URAT also applies to action skills, which is 150% bonus radiation damage. So it kind of is just a worthless skill. Obviously with both of those you have to have a certain playstyle, and with this one it's just more damage with any build, which I guess is the good side of that. But I feel like there are way more negatives towards that change. If they would have buffed the damage by a lot more, I feel like it would have been very good, and it might be good on characters like Moze where Iron Bear gets more damage with the weapon. I could see that being very, very good for Iron Bear builds, but for most characters it's really just gonna hinder the anointment loot pool and make it just not a fun experience to try to get what you want. Now that is pretty much it on the free side of things with this update, except all of, the hot fixes and buffs. A big change it is where ASE and anoints now won't proc if you're whiffing them, so that is going to completely change the way some builds work, because obviously some builds rely on that, but it shouldn't be too crazy. Now for the paid content, you have things like Arm Race, and I've played through Arms Race a couple times, and I can safely say that this is a very fun game mode. If you're looking for something that is completely different than what Borderlands is, but still has that Borderlands feeling, this is the game mode for you. It is very fun dropping in with nothing and trying to scavenge your way up to go fight the boss. One thing I will say is the boss can be killed with pretty much just any weapon. For my playthroughs, I would get like one decent weapon, and then I could just go to the boss fight and kill the boss. I didn't really have to work up to try to get purples or anything. I did get a purple masher on like my first playthrough, and it just made the entire game so easy. I flew through it so fast. It is all based on luck, and obviously that's what they're going for. But I personally feel like they could add some stuff to change it up a little bit, like maybe have different boss fights or like a boss fight rotation each day. Anything, because it's the same boss and it's the same location over and over again. That is good for consistency, but in my opinion, I feel like after we get all the new legendaries, it's not going to be as replayable as we might think. I don't mean to sound negative, but that is just what I personally think. The game mode itself is very fun, and it's going to be fun to do challenges on it. You know, if you do a allegiance challenge on it where you can only pick up weapons from a certain manufacturer and try to get through it, it will be fun. If you get TDR though, it's going to be a pretty easy challenge because TDRs rule this game mode. If you get a TDR, you're going to be able to go to the boss fight pretty much immediately if you have enough ammo, and just, you know, you could theoretically just beat the game in like 2 minutes if you're lucky enough. So overall, Arms Race is a very fun game mode. There definitely is some things they could change, which I personally think they will do, and this is probably a game mode that they're going to expand on in the future, and this is just the first taste of it. And for the first taste of it, it is a very fun game mode, and I highly recommend trying it out for just 15 bucks. Plus you get all the new skill trees, which are also very fun. So overall, through all of that, Mayhem 11 is the selling point for me, even though it's not really a selling point because it's free, everybody gets the update. But Mayhem 11 is just a complete game changer, like I said earlier, and I promise you it makes the game literally 10 times, 100 times more enjoyable, especially if you hated the Mayhem modifiers like most people did. That's gonna do all for me in this video. I hope you enjoyed just my personal opinions on everything. I hope this got you hyped a little bit for the DLC. I know if you were on Epic Games when it first came out like I was, it was a little discouraging because it took nearly 4 hours for the thing to actually launch when they said it was going to come out at 8, but things happen and I'm not going to complain about it. But now that everybody has it, let me know what you guys like in Arms Race or would like to see in Arms Race, and just overall everything that you like about this update. Be sure to stick around the channel. I'm going to be posting more videos like this, and of course I'll be posting build videos. So if that interests you, as always, be sure to like and subscribe. It really helps me out and I truly appreciate it. But thank you all so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.
I gotta find a way out of this fucking position. I stay with a gang and don't stress by no bitches. I took all my pain and I put it in records. They turn up the speaker, I turn it to riches. When I'm alone, the past come at behind me, so I feel like turning that boy to a casket.